Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to the island of the giants. This, for me, just about as much as anybody else, is got to be one of the most anticipated islands for the Straw Hats to arrive to. Ever since we heard about it in Little Garden, we've got the main theme of the island, Vikings, which, as somebody who's read numerous books online and physical about just Viking culture, Norse mythology, it's one of my personal favorites. We've got the culmination of Usopp's life goal to become a brave warrior of the sea, the conclusion of Big Mom's character arc, assuming that she is still alive, which I really feel like she is, and that Kaido is the only one to have bitten the dust in Wano, seeing as how Kaido hasn't reappeared in Wano and that his crew has made no mention of him for the little opportunities of Kaido's crew that we've seen and more. It's going to be amazing to finally see all these themes and events finally come into play. So what is the island considered to be the strongest hold for us? One of the few notable scenes in Elbaf that we've gotten so far is a faraway shot of the island with an enormous tree in the background. And if we're following Norse mythology to any degree, it's most likely One Piece's version of Yggdrasil. In Norse mythology, Yggdrasil is an impossibly large ash tree that connects the 9 realms. It's associated with both life and death, and as a side note, it acts as the gallows that the Viking god Odin hung himself from in order to gain mystical knowledge. Though I don't really think we're going to be seeing anybody hang themselves from the tree in Elbaf, in One Piece at least. It is also said to be the source of new life after Ragnarok. As far as what kind of symbolism it could hold for the One Piece universe, I believe that if the sea level of the world is rising with the use of the ancient weapons, then as the source of new life for Ragnarok, it could be used as a shelter from the rising seas as we get to the end game of the series and more ancient weapons come into place. Of course, that is assuming it's big enough to house all the people of Elbaf plus whoever comes seeking refuge to it, because then you have to consider how are people going to be growing crops, what are they going to hunt atop the tree. If the sea level does rise more to the point where people need to evacuate or take to their ships, they're going to likely have to hunt for sea creatures for food until they can get to a spot where they can settle down again. But for those who can't, seeking shelter in the tree is most likely the next best option, where they can likely carve out sections for different parts of their villages or live along the branches. Similar to how in World of Warcraft, the Night Elves lived atop the tree Yggdrasil before it was burned down. But that's a story for another topic. The next thing that can really drive home the theme of Vikings is introducing a Sea King with the same vibes as the Lord of the Coast, but jacked up to 11 to be the One Piece comparison to Norse mythology's world serpent. In Norse mythos, Jormungandr is a snake of such a large scale that it encircles the entirety of the Midgard realm, or the realm of the humans, and is one of the 3 children of Loki and the giantess Angerboda, along with the wolf Fenrir in Hell. And wouldn't it be fitting to see that the Prince of Elbaf, Loki, claimed this giant sea beast as his pet or friend that he's made? Now, I'm obviously speculating about him doing that right now, but if there were going to be anyone that would claim something on the scale of a sea beast as their pet, it would probably be the Prince of the Giants. The next thing that I believe really needs to happen is the end of Big Mom's storyline with reappearing in Elbaf to obtain some amount of closure with what happened at the Sheep's House orphanage. Because remember, Big Mom doesn't realize that she ate everybody at the orphanage and ate Mother Caramel. Not only was this an affront to the people in Elbaf that almost had her killed, but Lola turning down Prince Loki was also an offense from her, so Big Mom does make any sort of reappearance into the story, it should be here. She's probably not going to try and engage in any combat with the Straw Hats being on the island of the giants and having all the giant pirates there and the full Straw Hat crew there, if they aren't split up right now. But it will be a moment where she finds out what really happened to Mother Caramel, and has this moment of acceptance with what she did and what happened, and realizing that Caramel is gone and that she wasn't abandoned as a child, and Big Mom isn't going to be, looking for her or waiting for her anymore. It would be a great opportunity for Oda to showcase a serious character growth in a former Yonko like this. And speaking more on Prince Loki, There isn't much we know about him just yet, but what we do know is he's deeply respected within the Kingdom of Giants, and he was able to propose to the 23rd daughter of Big Mom, Lola, but was shamed when she turned down the prince and ran away. And this is what caused quite a bit of ire between Big Mom and the giant pirates, because now their prince has been disrespected. How could you ever pass down a marriage proposal from our prince? And seeing as how Big Mom tried to pass off Chiffon, as Lola just poured more salt in that wounded pride. Now, with this being a Viking and Norse themed island arc and already having a giant named Loki, I'm curious to see if we get any giants by the name of Thor or Odin on the island. Maybe a King Odin or a first or second Prince Thor. And if we're following Norse mythology to any extent, then it's likely Prince Loki himself could pose as a sort of antagonist to the Straw Hats. Not in the sense of being a villain like Big Mom or Kaido were in the previous arcs, but more as someone who will present certain challenges to the crew throughout the arc. At the end of the last chapter, 1126, the Thousand Sunny is somehow missing. It's just gone. Neither the Straw Hats nor the Giants saw it leave or get taken. And Nami's woken up in a very strange room, but in full Viking-themed gear. So somebody changed her. I don't know who. And if the theories that Loki kidnapped Nami are somehow true, we could see some kind of Davy back fight or a series of challenges in order to get her back. As for the other beauty in the crew, we're also expecting to see Robin finally reunite with Saul after 22 years. Now, while it has been a couple of decades later, we just learned of Saul's survival back in Egghead. With that revelation, I'm expecting to see a lot of good character moments from Robin that we didn't really have an opportunity to see while on Egghead, with it being particularly lacking in Robin moments, which is unfortunately the side effect of having a 10-person crew and trying to balance all the events of Egghead, what each of those crew members are doing, the Marines, Kizaru, the 5 Elders, and all the chaos that's going there with CP0. It was hard for everybody to have like a good moment. But we do know that Saul has been preserving a lot of O'Hara's library since the time of his survival on O'Hara. So we're most likely going to get a lot of new information on the Void Century and the Ancient Kingdom from him. It's difficult to say just when Oda is going to start revealing more information on the Void Century and the Ancient Kingdom, but having O'Hara's library, or at least what, remains of it, is probably going to be our best bet of getting some more of those details. At the very least, the name of the Ancient Kingdom is my guess, my hope. I hope we at least get the name of the Ancient Kingdom while in Elbaf. And last, but certainly not least, is Usopp finally achieving his dream of becoming a brave warrior of the sea, at least in his eyes, because personally, I would say Usopp's already achieved that dream. Since he set out from Serp Village, he's gained a 30 million berry bounty after the events of Eni's Lobby, where he burned down the flag of the world government, sniped Spandam from the Tower of Justice just to save Robin from being taken through the Gates of Justice, unhesitatingly refused to give up Luffy to Kuma after the fight with Moria and Thriller Bark, resulting in Kuma's devastating Ursa shock, used his observation haki to perfectly gauge the distance and trajectory of his shot, and sniped Sugar and Dressrosa from miles away, saving both Law and Luffy from being lost to her abilities and lost to the story potentially. He fought alongside Nami to take down Ulti and Onigashima, though really he kind of just got the shit beaten out of him, but he was there. He fought. He was there. But even with all of these, he wants to achieve even more to gain that recognition for himself as being a brave warrior of the sea. And this is probably going to result in some amount of dialogue between him and the giants on Elbaf, where he wants to prove himself to them. Now, I think that they could issue some kind of challenge to him to undertake while they're on the island, whether it be hunting some kind of large animal or facing off against someone on the island in order to prove his might to them, with either culminating in some kind of celebration for his achievement. It may even be a ritual of going out into the island to retrieve something that's guarded by a dangerous creature, one that even the giants are wary of, maybe even a one-piece version of Fenrir. But whatever it may be, I'm excited to see Usopp have his moment to shine, because even though our sniper has had some great moments throughout the story, we haven't really had one lately. With so many things on the horizon, us readers have a feast of content that we've just been itching to get a hold of. And all this isn't even including stuff we're likely going to get with the Blackbeard pirates and Garp, the Marines and the world government, the revolutionaries and the God Knights. I can't wait for the Straw Hats to finally touch down in Elbaf and for us all to explore the island that we've heard about just about over 1,000 chapters ago. For those of you who have any theories or thoughts you'd like to share, make sure to leave a comment down below. Click the link to join the Discord and we can discuss things there. I'm usually pretty active in the Discord, whether it be with friends, people who come in from the channel, or people who come in from streams. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. As for that, I will see you all in the next video.